This is the Media Police Post, broadcasting from the Fort Hall School of Government in Nairobi, Kenya. In this show, we police the state of truth in the Republic. And because truth is communicated to us by journalists and analysts, we have made it our civic duty to put it to the test. We advance from two confirmed truths about the media. One, and according to Roger Stone, the media is either lazy or evil. And for the most part, it is both evil and lazy. That is why the truth, their truth, must be put to a test.
And two, that journalism is verified gossip. In fact, what is presented to us as news analysis is gossip that has been verified by journalists. This gossip has to be ground-truthed. We will assess the state of truth in what they submit to the Republic, and we will pass verdict on what is true and what is not. For the record, we are not journalists. We are thinkers. We are not lazy or evil, and we do not verify gossip. What we give you is the truth that sets you free.
On today's show, we will discuss ideas that reflect unformed and uninformed opinions and ideas that made you stupid. Narratives that fell into the cognitive trap of we see things as we are and not as they are, and narratives based on conjuncture history and those that smack of envelope journalism. Welcome AX and Miss K.
Thank you. So, whenever William RUTO speaks, I'm reminded of the words of Hans Litten when he argued against Adolf Hitler in the court. Don't listen to him, he's telling the truth. What do I mean? You see, Hitler's rise to power was not inevitable. While the blow to national pride and the economic difficulties following Germany's defeat in World War I were critical in setting the stage, it was the German people, ordinary people, who pushed Hitler to the spotlight. From day one, Hitler was very clear about what he wanted to do with Germany: install a dictatorship. But the people only heard what they wanted to hear. They focused on his nonsensical promises of economic freedom and ignored how he proposed to realize these promises through outright theft, terror, and destruction. They believed that if he desired radical change, the realities of governance would temper and check the Nazis, as it had done the Social Democrat Party before them. In essence, they believed he was lying, when in fact he was telling the truth. Now, why is this warning from German history important to the Kenyan present? It is important for two reasons. First, yesterday on 29th of May 2022, the campaign season officially began for the August 2022 elections. So as our candidates traverse the nation selling that platform and criticizing their opponents, country must decide how to respond to these messages. One such message is William RUTO's anti-Uhuru platform. He promises to roll back the development projects undertaken during President Kenyatta's administration, and in so doing reverse the socio-economic growth that resulted from these projects. This message is the second reason why the lessons from German history have bearing on our Kenyan present. Because country must decide whether or not to listen to what William RUTO is actually saying or listen to what they think he is saying. And right now, I fear we are hearing our own things. Country is angry with President Kenyatta for a number of reasons, and RUTO is capitalizing on this anger with his anti-Uhuru platform. But is country listening when he promises to undo everything President Kenyatta has done? Or were they hearing what they wanted to hear? Do they know what it means to roll back the SGR or CBC? Does country know what it means to fundamentally alter the Medical Equipment Services Program, the program responsible for increasing the number of dialysis machines in this country from 26 in 2013 to 603 in 2021? Or is country only hearing their own animosity of President Uhuru reflected back at them? Do they believe that RUTO won't do what he says? When he tells you that he wants to dismantle the businesses you have spent decades building and investing in, believe him. When he tells you he wants to repossess the land you have worked so hard to acquire, believe him. When he tells you that he wants to dismantle the works of development that have uplifted your lives, believe him. You are wrong to believe that the realities of governance would check him, a man who instituted BBI through private, unaccountable, and opaque means. A man who studied under the professor of politics himself and has partnered with his classmate from Moi School of Government, Gachagua. RUTO is telling you the truth. He's telling us how he wants to dismantle country for his own ends. Now, are you going to believe him? That is the question.
Wow, very good food for thought there. So last week, Gabriela Kimari published an opinion in the Standard titled Uhuru Kenyatta's road projects are the best thing for Kenya since sliced bread. In the article, Kimari argues for two infrastructure projects that have been the hallmark of Uhuru's administration, the Nairobi-Naivasha road corridor from Uthiru to Kikuyu, and the Nairobi Expressway, plus the ongoing expansion of Waiyaki Way. According to Kimari, there are two notable positive socioeconomic changes brought on as a result of these highways. The first is a doubling of land prices and an increase in rent. Before, a quarter of an acre sold for 7 million shillings. Now the same size of land costs 14 million shillings. The second positive notable change is the mushrooming of light industries to take advantage of the proximity to Nairobi and cheap labor. What Gabriela Kimari is telling us without telling us is that Uhuru Kenyatta is Theodore Roosevelt's proverbial man in the arena. Uhuru is in the front lines, trying, sometimes falling short, but trying yet again to do what is necessary to improve our lot as Kenyans. That is why, to ensure continuity in the functions of government, the Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani read the budget 2 months early. The strategic idea in reading and passing the budget early was this: as some Kenyans are engaging in cheap election politics, the critical projects of the Uhuru administration are being finished. When Kenyans finally look up from the dirty tricks, name-calling and blaming of the campaign period, the expressway will be fully operational. The Rironi-Nakuru-Mau Summit Highway will be complete. The Mteza Bridge connecting North and South Coast will be done, forever changing how we get to our border with Tanzania and the beautiful beaches of South Coast. And for those who are hung up pessimistically on what Uhuru Kenyatta could have done better, I will leave you with the words of Theodore Roosevelt. A cynical habit of thought and speech, a readiness to criticize work which the critic himself never tries to perform, an intellectual aloofness which will not accept contact with life's realities, all these are marks not of superiority but of weakness.
Weakness indeed. So guys, we are 71 days to the August 9th, 2022 election. Some have premised their political strategy on negative campaigning. Many of the campaigns have adopted the message and tone of unrelenting negativity. It's become the hallmark of our Kenyan politics. But it is a strategy that could backfire. There's growing sentiment that this poll will be a referendum against Uhuru. That means your vote for Ruto is a vote against Uhuru. But this is plain silly. Voting for Ruto to spite Uhuru, yet he's retiring, it's the equivalent of you drinking poison and hoping that it will kill somebody else. Uhuru will eventually retire with his G-Wagon and he will chop life as an African statesman. So the decision on August 9th should be made in spite of Uhuru Kenyatta. Don't throw away your vote. Now consider a political case study in the Philippines, whereby the son of the late dictator Ferdinand Marcos, his name is Bongbong, was recently elected, defeating the incumbent Vice President Leni Robredo. It has been said that the Philippines elected a dictator's son because dynasties are popular. But I believe it wasn't the dynasty factor. It was more that Robredo and her boss had spent a lot of the campaign demonizing the Marcoses. Leni Robredo imagined that she was adopting a tried and tested campaign strategy against Bongbong Marcos when she launched her negative attacks on the Marcos family. And the net result of this unending accusations was paradoxical public skepticism and increasing sympathy and support for the Marcos family. Robredo's campaign was hopelessly out of step, particularly with young people who yearned for positivity and a better life and a confident vision of the nation. Robredo truly never told country her vision about the kind of future she could offer the Philippines. But she was clear that rejecting Bongbong Marcos will be good for country. She was not discerning enough to see the poverty of this vision. Now ask yourself, who has poverty of vision in our Kenyan election? My point? It never occurred to Robredo that negative campaigning could boomerang on her own campaign. So hear this, message is more important than money. Issues are more central than image. Strategy matters more than tactics. Positives work better than negatives. Substance is more salient than scandal. Issues are more powerful than image. Now, appeals rooted in generosity and the public interest do better than those which appeal to the voters' self-interest. Because ultimately, voters want to hear about how to make lives better, not richer. values matter more than economics. Now, according to Dick Morris in The New Prince, in Modern Politics, a candidate's positive issue message, the substance of his candidacy, has become far more important than money, image, spin, and negative attacks, and political parties. Do you agree?
Definitely. Just take one look at Martha Karua and you
There
have
you
your
go.
answer.
There you go. Thank you for joining us on the Media Police Post. We put you on notice. See you next Monday.